art and healing. So Hasnul, if you can delight us, your perspective on this.
Okay. First, art lah. So, what is art? How do we frame art kan? Of course, it's an open-ended discussion kan. But for me, if I can phrase it in the simplest way that I can possibly do lah kan. Art is an exploration and expression of human subjectivities. Because human beings are not just body and mechanical. Of course, we have that tangible and empirical side of our beingness kan. But we also have this almost like infinite amount of subjectivities, which is how we use art to explore that subjectivities. And we explore that through creative means, what we call creative practices lah kan. Normally involving a particular set of skills, medium, material, technique, technology. So that's how I take art, which is what science cannot do. Okay. Of course, there's a science part of art when it comes to the empirical side, the material, the formal things kan. But fundamentally, that's why we have art, for us to explore these subjectivities, satu dunia batin, dan share, to manifest and express, to give that intangible subjectivities a form to manifest. So that's art for me lah. Healing depends on how we approach sickness and how we approach human beings. Bagaimana kita membina konsep keinsanan itu. Bagaimana kita mentafsir manusia itu siapa. Something like that lah. So bergantung kepada orang lah. Ada orang mentafsir manusia itu semata-mata sebagai jasad dia. Mungkin perubatan moden satu ketika dulu hanya mengambil kira faktor biologikal, faktor empirikal, faktor yang boleh dilihat, boleh dicerap, tanpa mengambil kira faktor atau dimensi batin manusia. Sekarang ni mungkin dah berubah lah. So they have to complement medical treatment with psychological and emotional support, things like that kan. So depend on how we define what is our take on being human beings. So healing for me is a process of returning us back to our fitrah. So healing takes place when there is a consequence of we not following our fitrah, mentally, emotionally, physically.
Fitrah, seni tu, di fitrah tu macam mana?
Fitrah tu, if I can put it in a common, apa orang kata,
Layman terms lah.
bahasa yang mudah kan, our natural state, our by default state, the fundamental state of our beingness. Fitrah ini sesuatu yang bersetuju dengan kenapa manusia itu dicipta oleh Tuhan. Kalau saya dalam bahasa yang sangat mudah, kita pun bukan ustaz kan, takut tersilap cakap kan. Sejahtera. Sejahtera ni bahasa Melayu lah. Kalau bahasa orang putih dia peace. Peace. Bahasa Arabnya salam. Salam. So salam itu adalah keadaan fitrah. Kita berada dalam keadaan sejahtera. Mungkinlah agaknya ya, sebab tu kita macam Nazli Islam kau dah jadi sesuatu yang kita mungkin take for granted. Tapi what we are doing is basically to wish ourselves and others to be in salam, to be in peace, to be in sejahtera. Salam sejahtera ke atas kamu. Salam sejahtera ke atas kamu juga. So that's fitrah lah.
How did you discover this? Bila benda ni became clear to you?
I'm not sure specifically bila lah. I think semua orang akan ada proses. Everybody will have their own process of introspection taking time throughout their life kan. Depends on circumstances that take place in their life that will somehow persuade them to do reflection upon what's happening kan. So for me, few catalysts lah kan. Catalyst when we encounter situations that we are not prepared. Death, for example. So it's not just me lah. For me, I think this happened to everybody. So when you encounter something that you didn't prepare, death, that will make you persuade you without force to be in this mode of introspection. What is the meaning of life? Why do I exist? What's the purpose of me becoming an artist or teaching? Whatever lah yang kita buat kan. So sometimes people say it's a midlife crisis. I don't think it happens during this particular age. It can happen throughout our life. Maybe with different degree of intensity lah. So kalau saya in the past, I can say 10 years lah. One is after we were so actively involved under so many capacities kan. Like what we were talking about just now kan. Doing solo show. I did the solo show recollecting back my drawings kan. Which I think is quite rare lah. Not many artists like to showcase their drawings. And I did that with you, with Gallery Chandan, even showing my drawings when I was a kid, when I was small, my cartoons and everything. And maybe I felt a bit vulnerable, but I don't mind. Kan? So that was quite major thing. But when we were doing that, we were doing it because of passion. We want to experiment. We want to see, okay, what's going to happen. A lot lah. Then not only with you I did I helped you to do the residency. So you sent me Rusnoto Susanto, artist scholar, and then Roka Radipa. You sent 3 months for me to take care of them. I said, okay, Nazli, don't worry. I will try to use whatever resources we have. So we were slaving ourselves, so to speak, because we love doing it, probably. So and then I reached a point, I felt so, what do you call it? Not tired, what's the other word? Burnout. So, apa aku buat ni So that was the time when I did my solo, but I didn't do it in Kuala Lumpur. I did it in Penang Art Gallery. And there was a series of paintings, very large paintings, 8 feet. I call that series Hijab Seorang Pelukis. In English,
The Veil.
Will of an Artist. I was having a dialogue with myself. How the process of total identification with false sense of self or personhood that I've created for myself, in this case as an artist, can sometimes, if you're not careful, suffocate you, and you become totally dependent on that personhood, that
Persona.
persona. We felt that there's a constant need to feed that persona, and there's constant presence of insecurity, not enough, not doing well enough,
Tak cukup je.
never satisfied, always this constant greed to add and to add and to add and to feed this persona, that of course eventually later part of this process realized that mirage, it was all mirage. Illusion is probably not a good word. It's a test that we may fail if we are not careful. Meaning, if we it's, you can call yourself an artist. I have no problem with that. It's nothing wrong doing that. But to totally identify totally with that identification, that is dangerous. And that's, for me, is the cause of pain, or whatever you call it, sickness. That's the root of sickness. So that can be an artist, it can be a profession, it can be a house, it can be anything.
But in your life kan, I mean, I'm not an artist. I don't come from this line. Okay, I would believe that you naturally gravitated into this field. Okay, and rasa macam burden tak? Because you mencari identity, tidak pernah puas dengan identity,
insecure.
Tapi itu bukankah itu salah satu journey? Memang journey everybody. Cuma artis ni dia lebih peka.
Yes.
Dia lebih peka. Jadi berat dia tu, beban dia tu lebih berat. Okay. Which is back to the subject of kita punya discussion, art and healing. Jarang orang melihat hasil seni ni sebagai healing. Orang melihat hasil seni ni sebagai seni. Sebagai seni, sebagai hiasan. Sebagai hiasan.
Ornament.
I look at it macam tu juga. Tapi setelah saya kenal artis, setelah saya berkecimpung dalam industri ni, saya faham itu adalah expression diri. Yang kadang-kadang artis tu berlawan di dalamnya untuk express and make themselves vulnerable to other people, kan? So you go through this life. So there will be situation where you are expressing, you are introspecting, right? And you are teaching, you are researching, and then there will become points in your life, right, where you start to feel the need to heal yourself, so that you move on to the next journey.